Well, hello everybody. So welcome to a brand new year. My first video of 2016. So here we go with the bang. And I know I was supposed to get my haircut done, but I just didn't get the time, too busy. People will be like, what is he talking about? Haircuts and all that. Come on, we're talking about Ascension here, right? Like, oh my God, I had to get my haircut and then I had to talk about spirituality afterwards. But since they didn't have any appointment, I couldn't get any appointment done. So maybe I will cut my haircut tomorrow. Okay, all right, serious note. We'll talk about something profound today, which is the process of ascension, which is now intensifying. Within 9 days, it's going to intensify. How? Well, let me show you. And let me actually tell you that most of you who watched my last Ascension video, meaning Ascension, what is this video about? First of all, this video is about us as a selective group of people, not everybody, not the 7 billion population here. No, a selective group of people is going through a certain process since last year, okay? And they're going through this process of suddenly feeling this abnormality within them, suddenly feeling this zeal towards understanding their inner truth. And this certain process, which is known as the spiritual progression, is not an easy one. It can make you depressed, it can make you feel isolated, it can make you get angry at things, okay? This is not a process that is suddenly you're going to be turning into a saint, waking up one morning. No, it's not going to happen that way. And I know many people say, well, Ascension, you drink and you eat meat. How can you talk about Ascension? That is exactly why I can talk about Ascension. Because I know the real process of Ascension. Because in reality, you can't just leave alcohol, meat, and your everyday work life. No, this is like a slow process because see, universe does everything time-wise. When a first man was here on this planet, whether we were planted here by an alien species or whether we were genetically somehow modified through evolution, it didn't happen in one day. In one day, man didn't just came about and say, well, let me create something known as language, religion, education, technology. No, it was literally a 100,000-year process. So imagine you're talking about the process that just started last year. Actually, it started really when the Earth went directly above the horizon of our galaxy back in 2012. That's what the 2012 thing was, not the end of the world, but Earth and the entire solar system went above the wavelength of the actual equator, you can say, of our galaxy. So I've made a couple of videos on that. I may have talked about how from last year till like for the next 7 years till 2022, where most of us are going to be developed into something else. And this is special process is to create certain type of workers in the world. You can call it a light worker, you can call it a healer. You can call somebody who is simply here to bring about a certain awareness about everybody else and themselves. So that's what this process, and this is why not many people are going to be experiencing this. Not many people are going to be, feeling what some of you are feeling, as you all kind of confessed in my last 2 videos. But what is happening in the 9 days that you are actually finally going to be realizing? See, you are all looking for that certain trigger. That, come on, I know I'm feeling this weird way, but when is the real process of having certain energy, or you can say certain powers, come into play? And it's happening in exactly now, probably 8 days. Why? In astrological perspective, okay, so if you're not a follower of astrology, you got to understand there's a saying, as above, so below. Whatever is happening up there that you see has a direct correlation of what's happening down here. And as all you know, I follow the Vedic system, the Vedic astrological system, which is the most ancient system in the world. It is a system based upon, as they call, the language of the gods, Sanskrit, even though I don't know a single word of that, except the astrological vocabularies. But according to this system, okay, and this is the sidereal system, the south node of the moon and the north node of the moon are going to be changing signs. They're going to be going from, the north node will be going from Virgo to Leo, and south node will be going from Pisces to Aquarius, because they move backwards. Okay? But that's not what this video is about. There's something else that is happening with this movement of the south node of the moon, Ketu. Because Ketu, okay, the south node of the moon in astrology represents not only our past, not only represents our ability to fall back on the things that we have experienced in our past lives, but it is the highest of the spiritual energy. Because Ketu is a planet which is kind of empty inside. It is energy or shadow point. It's not really a planet. It's a mathematical point which is kind of hollow from inside. Meaning it doesn't have any material thing inside. It is simply a no gravity zone where a human being will fly. If you were inside the body of Ketu, you will be floating. You will have no aim, no direction. And that's the 0 point which Gautam Buddha also talked about. That point where you have no desire, you have no attachments. It just simply is. You can't even call it nothing. It just simply is. That's what Ketu is. So wherever it's placed in your horoscope represents the point that you have experienced, and you really do not have that attachment with it. And obviously, if you do not know about Vedic astrology and you want to learn about your planetary placements and where your planets are placed, you can check out the links here for that, and you can check out my full astrological report, including my books and consultations at this link that will tell you what's happening, where exactly these nodes are going to be transiting. Okay, but the more profound thing that is happening in the sky is that Ketu is coming in conjunction with Neptune. That's right. Neptune and Ketu are going to be conjunct, especially for the next 18 months in the sign of Aquarius. And Neptune, what is Neptune? Neptune is like, you can say, an elevator from our soul to the astral projection, to the astral dimension. Neptune is the energy that leads us to the people that we talk about, like Palladians or Andromedans or Unkims. It is the people who reside in a dimension where I'm standing right now. Like where I'm standing right now, I could be in the middle of a freeway in a different dimension. But that's what Neptune is. Neptune is our psychic projection, our natural, unconditional power of connecting with the other side. But now this planet of occult, mysticism, sorcery, spirituality, and spiritual progression, which is Ketu, is coming in conjunction with Neptune. And between January 9th to at least, I would say, give it about March, February or March, you will definitely feel a natural intuitive power within you. Like everybody who is, let's say, doing tarot, doing astrology, holistic healing, Reiki, pranic, energy, light healing, you're an Ayurvedic doctor, an acupuncturist, suddenly, because you are in this energy of Ketu, all of this is the energy of Ketu and Jupiter. And now, especially Ketu coming in conjunction with Neptune is going to intensify your work. Like you probably won't even have to meditate or do something, and you will naturally be looking at something and you will feel it. You will feel like, wow, this is the answer. Like when you flip the cards of your tarot cards or Vedic cards, you will just feel it. You will no longer be afraid like, oh my God, will I be able to get this intuition for this person who's sitting in front of me? No, you'll just be naturally seeing this. So for every light worker who's out there, everybody who is wanting to search for their true identity, who they are, everyone who's feeling this unusual feeling that started from last year that I explained from my very first Ascension video, it's like we're putting everything into the second gear. Now the car is speeding up. Now you will feel that your intuition level and your sudden psychic connection to the world outside is going to intensify, and you are going to experience things that you only were wishing you could experience. And the next 18 months is the time to meditate, is the time to do your spiritual practice, spiritual sadhana. This is your time to enlighten others. And no, I don't mean enlighten others like Jehovah's Witnesses, where you're knocking on people's door and telling them to believe in something that they're not ready for. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you'll naturally come into contact with people who are going to want some sort of information from you. And you'll know what to do with them, how to heal them. And especially when this conjunction happens in the sky of the south node of the moon and Neptune together, some of the people who are in regular jobs, mundane world, are suddenly going to slowly start to shift to where they're going to want to understand this side of the world. Like, for example, if let's say you're a politician and you're a lawyer, you're working in DC, you're, making phone calls to, to the House, or you're lobbying. That's the word that I'm looking for. You're trying to lobby your way. Suddenly, if Ketu and Neptune conjunction happens in your 12th house, ascendant, 4th house, 8th house, you will suddenly feel like, okay, what am I doing here? And then suddenly, why am I wanting to search something on Google or YouTube? You're going to feel this. And if you're probably watching this, well, then welcome. But especially in certain houses, this is really going to trigger that point. Yet people who are naturally inclined towards a more spiritual world, which is beyond technology and physics, mathematics. I mean, these things are like small compared to the world that we know that exists out there, that exists up there, and the things that I've researched on, things that I watch, including my wife who watches this. She's probably watching right now too. She was showing me some video about certain things. I mean, all the things that we think are beyond us. Like you see somebody graduating with honors at 4.0 GPA from Harvard or MIT, and they discovered, some sort of a new molecule, and you're like wondering, wow, how can I ever accomplish that? I mean, you as that person who's going to be taking this step into this different level, these things will become so minute and easy. They'll be like, what was I even worrying about? That I'm not capable of doing anything. I'm not able to be this mathematician or this great astrophysicist. No, you have the power to be far beyond any of these things. Because once you reach that certain level, everything naturally comes to you. Remember, physics, for example, is like the law of the universe, right? This universe that we particularly live in. That means if it's the law, it is naturally in you. Physics is inside you naturally to understand, to grasp, and to master it. We're stuck in this such a realm and such a time period where we're only capable of understanding certain things while everything is naturally within us, like Matrix. But with this conjunction of Ketu and Neptune, you will start to see all of this. You will start to understand all of these things. And so this is why when I realize what is happening now, because I'm starting to actually kind of feel that. Like I tell my wife, I just dreamed about these things. I'm dreaming about astrology literally every other day that I never did before. Since the last 4 or 5 days, I'm dreaming about astrology and astrological principles for some reason. I'm waking up and like in my dreams, I'm having conversation with one of my astrological friends, Sunil, or somebody else that I brought in on this channel. And I'm talking to them about Prigunadi Jyotish and BSP. And I'm like rambling in my sleep and my wife is like waking me up. I was like, what are you talking about? So I can see this is just really the dream part, which is not really a dream, is becoming very, very vivid. It's becoming very strong. And so this is why this conjunction is really starting to now take place. But especially from January 9th to February or March, give it a month or two to set this conjunct to really settle in. And then especially by end of this year, it's really going to come really close. And by 2017, it's going to be even more close to Neptune. So this is the time now to really get yourself going. And I can definitely will tell you that many, many people now, more people, like that example of politician I was giving, more people are going to suddenly want to join spiritual groups and wanting to increase their psychic abilities. This is really that psychic conjunction that is going to happen. Okay? So guys, hopefully this has given you a bit more information and enlightenment on this process that is started, and it is very real. It doesn't matter if you smoke, you drink, you gamble, because when you become a part of this cycle, slowly, it'll all go away. Maybe it doesn't need to go away. That's the thing. People are so blinded about what spirituality is and what kind of a lifestyle you need to have to follow spirituality. They're literally blinded about what exactly is. Spirituality is finding your true self. That's it. It's your ability to find your true identity in life. That's what spiritual awakening is. It's not going in exile and not doing anything bad that you have come to know, because automatically you will realize what is good and bad and you will make those decisions by yourself. Okay? So anyway, if you're new to my channel, subscribe below. Again, if you want to know everything about your Ketu and your planets, everything that's happening, please check out the links here. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on Monday with a conjunction.